I'm 26 and I've spent over 15 years grinding shooters. If you're a teen dreaming of going pro, listen up. Your window of opportunity is closing faster than you think. But don't click away. I've got some real talk that could save you years of frustration and point you towards actual success in gaming. But here's the kicker. Less than 0.01% of gamers ever go pro. And that tiny slice, it shrinks even more as you age. Look at Shroud. The dude was a beast, but even he bailed on the pro scene for content creation. Why? Because the pro life is brutal, especially in games like Valorant. Most pros peak around 22. That's your window and it's closing fast. But wait, it gets worse. There's a biological factor working against you that kicks in way earlier than you'd think. Remember dominating those all-night gaming sessions? Your brain's got some bad news. There's a ticking clock on your gaming skills and it starts way sooner than you'd expect. How soon? Let's just say if you're old enough to drink, you might already be past your prime. Here's the cold, hard truth. Your cognitive and motor skills start declining at 24. Yeah, you heard that right, 24. That's when your reaction times begin to slow down and your ability to adapt to new strategies takes a hit. It's not just me saying this, there's actual science backing it up. A 2014 study from Simon Fraser University dropped a bomb on gamers everywhere. They called it Over the Hill at 24. And it's not just a catchy title, the research showed that after 24, players' reaction times start to rise linearly. In other words, you're getting slower and it's happening faster than you think. But wait, it gets worse. While you're dealing with your brain's betrayal, those teenage gamers are racking up thousands of hours of experience. They're not just faster. They're smarter, more strategic, and more adaptable. Every day they're widening the gap between you and them. Think about it. When you're playing Valorant or any other fast-paced shooter, milliseconds matter. A split-second delay in your reaction time can mean the difference between a headshot and a respawn screen. And it's not just about raw speed. As you age, your brain becomes less flexible, making it harder to adapt to new strategies and game mechanics. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Kimmy, I've been gaming for years. Doesn't that count for something? Sure it does. Experience is valuable. But in the world of pro gaming, it's often not enough to outweigh the raw physiological advantages of youth. Let's break it down. You've got younger players with lightning fast reflexes, thousands of hours of recent practice, and brains that are primed for learning new skills. On the other hand, you've got older players with experience but slower reaction times and less adaptable thinking. In a game where every millisecond counts, who do you think has the edge? But here's the kicker. It's not just about reflexes. There's a mental game that's equally brutal. The psychological impact of competing against players who seem to have inhuman speed and adaptability can be devastating. It's like running a race where your opponents get a head start and the gap keeps widening no matter how hard you push. So what does all this mean for you? If you're in your teens or early 20s, the clock is ticking. Every day you spend not honing your skills to the absolute max is a day you're falling behind. And if you're already past that magic number of 24, well, you're fighting an uphill battle against biology itself. Think you can overcome biology with sheer willpower? That's exactly what the esports industry is banking on, but there's a dark side to this mindset that's causing players to crash and burn at alarming rates. Let's talk about the psychological toll of constantly competing against younger players. It's not just about reflexes, it's about the mental game. And it's brutal. Burnout is a massive issue in esports. We're talking intense training schedules, constant pressure to perform, and job instability that would make most people crack. Imagine grinding for 12 plus hours a day, every day, knowing that one bad tournament could end your career. That's the reality for many pro gamers. But here's where it gets really messed up. There's this perception in esports that you're over the hill by your mid-20s. And guess what? That belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Dr. Caitlin McGee, an expert in esports medicine, puts it like this. Our brains are highly suggestible. If you have multiple generations of players who genuinely believe that they're going to slow down when they hit 25, they will slow down when they hit 25. This mindset creates a vicious cycle. As players hit their mid-20s, they start pushing themselves even harder, fearing they'll be replaced by some 18-year-old hotshot. This leads to more stress, more burnout, and ultimately worse performance. It's a self-destructive loop that's claiming careers left and right. Let's look at some real-world examples. Ever wonder why so many pro players retire in their mid-20s? It's not just about declining skills, it's about the overwhelming pressure and instability of the esports industry. Take Shroud for instance. Dude was at the top of his game, but he bailed on the pro scene. Why? Because the lifestyle is unsustainable for most people. And it's not just the big names. Countless players leave the competitive scene because they can't make a living. Jonathan Fatality Wendell, a former pro gamer, nailed it when he said, "If I'm not gonna make money for my time and effort, maybe I can do other things for esports and gaming." That's the harsh reality. Even if you're good, there's no guarantee you'll make it financially. Now you might be thinking, but I love gaming, I can handle the pressure. And maybe you can for a while. But here's the thing, love isn't always enough. The esports industry is designed to chew up young talent and spit it out. It's a system that relies on a constant influx of new players willing to sacrifice everything for a shot at glory. Let's break it down. You've got the biological factors we talked about earlier. Your reflexes slowing down, your brain becoming less adaptable. On top of that, you've got the psychological pressure of competing against players who seem to have inhuman speed and adaptability. And then there's the industry itself, always looking for the next big thing, the next young prodigy. It's a perfect storm of factors that can break even the most dedicated players. And the worst part, many players don't realize they're in trouble until it's too late. They push through the burnout, the stress, the financial instability, thinking it's just part of the journey to success. But for most, that success never comes. So what's the takeaway here? If you're dreaming of going pro, you need to go in with your eyes wide open. Understand that the odds are stacked against you. Not just because of skill, but because of the psychological toll and the nature of the industry itself. It's not about discouraging you, it's about being real. So pro gaming might be a young person's game, but here's where it gets interesting. There's a whole other side to the gaming industry where age is an advantage, not a drawback. Want to know what it is? It's content creation, and it's where all those years of gaming experience can actually pay off. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Remember how I said I was a Radiant player and level 10 on Faceit? Well, now I'm getting my ass handed to me in lower Immortal ranks. But you know what? It doesn't matter, because I found a way to turn my passion for gaming into something sustainable. Content creation is where it's at. It's not just about being the best player anymore. It's about sharing your knowledge, your personality, and your unique take on the games you love. And guess what? All those hours you spend gaming, they're not wasted. They're fuel for your content. Think about it. You've got years of experience, strategies, and stories to share. You've seen games evolve, meta shift, and you've probably got some killer anecdotes about epic wins and humiliating losses. That's gold for content creation. But here's the real kicker. Content creation offers something that pro gaming often doesn't: stability and a better work-life balance. No more 12-hour practice sessions or the constant fear of being replaced by the next teenage prodigy. You set your own schedule, build your brand at your own pace, and actually have time for a life outside of gaming. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. Building an audience takes time and effort. But compared to the grind of trying to go pro, it's a whole different ballgame, and the best part, age is actually on your side here. Let's look at some success stories. Take XQC for example. He was a pro Overwatch player, but he made the switch to full-time streaming. Know what he said about it? He enjoys more flexibility and a healthier work-life balance now. That's huge. Here's the thing. In content creation, your life experience becomes an asset. You've got more to talk about, more insights to share. You can analyze games on a deeper level, relate to a wider audience, and bring a perspective that some kid who's only known Valorant can match. And let's be real, the rise of streaming platforms has created a whole new career path. You don't need to be the best player in the world to be successful. You need to be entertaining, informative, and genuine. That's something that comes with age and experience. Now, I'm not saying you should give up on improving your game. Keep grinding, keep learning, but start thinking about how you can turn that knowledge into content. Start a YouTube channel, stream on Twitch, create some TikToks, build your brand alongside your skills. The beauty of this approach is that it's not all or nothing like going pro. You can start creating content now while you're still competing. If the pro thing works out, great. You've got a head start on your post-pro career. If it doesn't, you've already got a foundation to build on. Remember, the gaming industry is bigger than just the pro scene. There's room for analysts, coaches, content creators, and entrepreneurs. Your gaming knowledge is valuable. You just need to find the right way to leverage it. Maybe you can't be the next Shroud, but you could be the next big gaming YouTuber or Twitch streamer. Start building those content skills now, whether you're still chasing the pro dream or not. Trust me, you don't want to hit 26 and realize you missed the boat. Now go make some content and prove me wrong, and also watch these other videos. Thank you.
Arrivederci.